Hello guys and welcome back. My name is Nanti and today we're doing a Smite solo lane guide for Cabrakan, Mayan Guardian. Cabrakan's kind of weird as a Guardian because he's more akin to a warrior than he is to a lot of the other Guardians such as Geb or Sylvanas or Athena, in that he doesn't do very well in the support role. He's pretty terrible as a support. He doesn't really have the best kind of, big AoE initiate or the kind of taunt initiate or the freeze initiate. Yeah, and his CC is a bit unreliable. But what he does is he does a lot of damage. People call him Fat Loki because he's got insane burst. So yeah, I like playing him in the solo lane. I think he's pretty fun in that role. I think he does decently well in it. And he has quite a few good matchups and a really great kind of team fight from that position. When he first came out, he was considered to be the worst guard in the game by a lot of people, because obviously you couldn't play him in support as a Guardian, so people thought he didn't really have any kind of role. His kit didn't really make sense for his class, so yeah. But now he's undergone quite a few buffs. His one got buffed, his ultimate got buffed, I think a couple of other things on him got buffed. So yeah, he's a little bit better now, and he's quite a good solo laner and jungler as a kind of just, as I said, a magical warrior really. Okay, so this video, this guide rather, is going to be put into multiple videos as all the others are. I'm going to start by talking about his abilities, and I'll show you how they work. Then I'm going to be moving on to the God Builder and showing you good build to solo lane. Then we'll talk a little bit about good matchups and bad matchups and who you should be picking Cabrakan into and who you don't want to pick him into. And then finally we'll do a gameplay video where I just do some kind of post commentary on me playing, and I'll talk about what I do well, what I do wrong, and what I do in team fights. Okay, so let's start with his passive, Shadow Zone. It's a very simple passive. Allies near Cabrakan take 5% reduced damage. Pretty easy. It doesn't affect himself, so he doesn't get 5% reduced damage. That would be nice. Maybe that would be a nice little buff for him. But yeah, so it's not too bad. Doesn't do much for you in solo lane because obviously you're not going to have any gods around you to buff, so it's not really much use in that regard. It does buff minions, so your minions will be slightly stronger than the enemy minions, so you kind of have the push advantage in that regard, which isn't too bad. But obviously in team fights, when everyone's grouped up, this is a nice passive. Okay, so moving on. Seismic Crush, his first ability. Cabrakan becomes enraged, increasing his movement speed. While active, Cabrakan gains 70% increased attack speed, and his next successful basic attack will stun and do bonus damage. Additionally, Cabrakan is immune to slows and roots while this ability is active and does not suffer basic attack penalty. Okay, so let me show you how this works. So basically, your shields start glowing, and then you can do this. If you hit an enemy god with this, you'll stun them and do a decent amount of damage. 275 plus 90, that's not bad. So stun for 1 second, and the movement speed increase is up to 35%. It's pretty nice. Obviously the slow immunity and the root immunity is pretty decent for kind of catching up to people. So your thing is you catch up to them and then you stun them, and then you use all the rest of your abilities, which I'll come to in a minute. It's a decent ability. It's good if you're getting ganked as well, just to kind of help you escape. It's nice if you're getting ganked by something like a Bastet, because obviously the slow immunity is really nice against the cats, as well as her slow on her 3. So yeah, I like this ability. Let's move on. Refraction Shield. So this has got two parts. It's got a passive and an active. Passive, as Cabrakan shields take damage, they store energy and gain protection stacks. And the protection stacks are 8 at max level with max 5 stacks, so a maximum of 40 protections. This is, you see here, this is your counter for this. This will sort of slowly glow. Each section will light up, and you'll gain protections. Okay, so let's have a look at the active. Cabrakan slams his shields together, creating a concussive blast and damaging enemies in front of him. If his shields have max stacks, then the enemy gods hit are stunned and the stacks are removed. Okay, so this is the ability I tend to level up first because it does an absolute metric shit ton of damage. This is kind of like his main kind of burst. It really hurts people, especially if you have penetration boots. It's crazy. Also, if the passive is stacked up fully, you get a stun, and the stun is 1.5 seconds. So that's pretty nice. If, as I say, if someone's chasing you and do a load of damage, you can just turn around. Okay, this is the cone as well, so it's just bang. So yeah, if it does a lot of damage, if you're getting chased and you're taking damage, you can turn around and go boom, stun the people behind you to allow you to get away. It works quite well in synergy with this one, so you can run up to people, stun them, boom. If you've got enough stacks up, you'll stun them again. It's pretty nice. It's a really good ability. Kind of like your shotgun ability, I guess, the kind of short cooldown, high damage, short range ability that a lot of gods have. So yeah, I level that up first because it gives you a lot of kill potential in lane, honestly, just the amount of damage it does. Now, let's move on. Tremors. Cabrakan repeatedly slams the ground with his shields, creating an earthquake and causing enemies around him to tremble. Enemies caught in the earthquake are damaged and are slowly sucked in towards Cabrakan. This ability can only be channeled for a maximum amount of 10 seconds. Okay, so this is a big AoE damage, and what you do is you doom doom doom, ground and pound. You keep doing it until either you run out of mana or until the 10 seconds is up. You can use this to clear the wave. It's pretty decent kind of like wave clear. The only problem is it can be interrupted quite easily. I think pretty much everything interrupts it. Silence, knockups, stuns, and kind of, yeah, thing like that. So the wave clear is decent. The little trick I have when wave clearing is if you can catch the enemy god in this when you're wave clearing, then the minions will kind of converge on you, and then you can step back and go boom and clear the wave like that, and you clear it super quickly. That's a nice little trick for when you're trying to clear the wave as Cabrakan. Even if that doesn't happen, honestly this does so much damage that you can just clear the wave anyway, and considering you'll have a blue buff on you, you're not really too worried about like the mana cost. It's a pretty decent ability. In terms of leveling, I'll always level 2 first. Then typically, if you're up against an opponent who can't easily get out of this, or has no way to interrupt you from it, you'll level this up second, because it does a decent amount of damage and helps you with wave clear. If you're against a god, or just against a team in general that has a way to easily interrupt you out of your tremors, or they have multiple ways to get out of the tremors, then you just level up this second, because it does a decent amount of damage, you know, a little bit less than this, but yeah. So pretty much the level order is depending on the team matchup, quite similar to Thor, as to whether you max up his Berserker Barrage or his Mjolnir's Attunement. So yeah, either one. Let's move on to his ultimate. Tectonic Shift. Cabrakan stomps the ground, creating a wall of earth, a fissure that travels out in front of him and damages any enemies caught in its path. The walls may be destroyed if they take enough hits. Cabrakan may destroy his own walls with a single basic attack. Okay, so let me show you how this works. So this is your targeter. It's a pretty weird targeter, pretty unique in terms of all the targeters in the game. And what you do is bang, and you get these walls. Enemies can't walk through these, and they take multiple hits for enemies to destroy, but you can just knock them down like this. So it's a pretty decent ability. If your jungler is coming to solo lane to gank, it's quite easy for you to use your ultimate to kind of trap the enemy god, and then you and your jungler can just sort of shit on them inside the ultimate. Clearly the biggest weakness of this ultimate is that enemies with leaps can get out quite easily. So we'll say you're laning against a Bakasura or something else, you have to be wary if they still have their jump up. You can't ultimate them unless you're just doing the ultimate for the damage. You can't use the ultimate to try and trap them because they'll just be able to jump out. Similar with Hades as well, who's a common solo lane god. He can just get out of it. Also teleports as well, we'll go through it. Alquang's teleport is super short range and it can't go through most things, but it can actually jump over Cabrakan balls because they're very thin. So you have to be wary with this ability. Clearly in terms of matchups then, you don't want to be picking Cabrakan into a god who could quite easily get out of your ultimate. So that's something you have to think about. I'll talk about that a bit later in the gods matchups department. But in terms of, you know, an ultimate, I think it's quite nice. 550 damage is pretty decent, you know, with the magical scaling of a magical warrior. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Okay, so let me just show you kind of a quick Cabrakan's kind of 100 to 0 combo. So we'll go in, boom, hit, boom, ultimate, tremor. Oh, he died. He died even before I could start tremoring. But what you normally do is once you get the ultimate up, you'll trap the minion with the tremors, and they won't be able to get out because they have to kind of run around the wall. So they spend a hell of a lot of time kind of stuck inside your ultimate in the tremors, and you can do a decent amount of damage like that, even in late game. If you can get 2 people trapped inside it and they can't get out, and you just start going dum 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 dum, you're going to do a hell of a lot of damage. It's honestly quite easy to be top player damage with Cabrakan in a game, even though you're a tank. Yeah. So you can see this is like, boom, pretty good wave clear. You can, it's on such a short cooldown as well. I mean, I've got cooldown reduction on, so 6 seconds cooldown is pretty low. So when you're clearing the wave, you can just go dunk, sort of punch some of them, and it'll be back up again for you to hit kind of the archers or the minions again. So yeah, I like Cabrakan's kit. I think it's super fun. A lot of people don't like it. They think it doesn't fit a guardian because they want to play him in support. But as a solo laner, I think he's pretty fun. You feel quite strong as Cabrakan when you're in lane, you know. You don't feel scared of anything. You're like, damn, I can just mess people up here. So yeah, I think he's pretty fun. And that concludes the abilities video. In the next video, I'll be talking about builds, and then god matchups and bad matchups. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.